What's up, y'all? So I'm in the car because I just got out. I just came out of the gym and I was thinking about my locks. And I just wanted to talk to y'all about different ways that locks have transformed me and helped me in life. Just to share that with y'all because I know like a lot of women are getting locks and a lot of women are getting it because it's trendy and because it's a style. Locks for me gave me such a greater connection. I was the first in my immediate family to get locks. And I did that. I tell this story all the time. Like I saw my cousin at a family event that my aunt had held in Brooklyn. I loved everything about how his hair looked. It was just something so regal about it. And I'm like, yo, this dude is in my family. Like I got like some type of royalty in my family. And that's not the experience everybody has when they see it. But for me, that moment changed everything. And it's done so much. That little moment sparked so much happening in life for me. That's why I started my journey. It was something regal, it was something beautiful. It just created like a connection. My father's from Trinidad. My daddy was with me until he died. So, it means a little bit more. But for me, Trinidad is like it. Like I just love every single thing about it. I love the people, I love the accent, I love the food, I love every single thing, which is why I got to be in the gym because I love the food. So when I first got my locks, I was in college in Florida. And that was just crazy because, I'm down there with this weird and crazy hairstyle. I'm this Jersey girl with Jersey accent. And my closest friends in college were from DC. I had a friend from the Cayman Islands. I think there was a friend from Philly. Two of them were from DC. So we were all northern. And then Lisa, she was from the Caribbean. She was from the Cayman Islands, and she was so sweet and cute, and I just love Lisa. So we kind of related on that. Being in college and trying to chart your path and like get ready for the world fresh out of high school was just crazy. So when I went home for that winter break in December of 1998, on New Year's Eve, I had my mom start my locks so they could be completed by New Year's Day because I wanted my lock anniversary to be New Year's Day. Every time it was a new year, it was like my locks had their birthday. So I wasn't just celebrating a new year, I was celebrating, my transition into lockhood, lockdom, right? First year locks, like they go through that crazy stage when you actually take the journey. And this is for women that took the journey of locks, not like they got instant locks or got like faux locks and let it grow into locks. When you take that journey, those first few months of being locked, it is make it or break it time. Because if you could go through that and go with that crazy looking look that you have to deal with in life, you can make it mostly through anything. So that's like the first lesson that locks taught me. It gave me extra resiliency. I've always been like a super resilient person. It's not much in this life that you're going to throw at me and it's going to knock me down. Imagine being a chick from Jersey having to find a whole new friend group and then putting in this hairstyle that looked crazy on the outside. But I knew what my locks were going to be because I kept that vision of my cousin in my head. And I'm telling you that I had this extra confidence that just came because you have to have it. I knew I wasn't taking this hairstyle out, so I had to just go ahead through with it. But walking into some rooms after that, when you're going through those college experiences and where girls are worried about everything about how they look, something about my locks gave me what I needed to walk into those rooms confidently, like to be able to speak. I remember sitting in my class and there was a discussion. It was my social something class, but we were discussing HIV and AIDS. And I always been a little bit outspoken. I never would have spoke out the way that I have, and I think that confidence and that fearlessness came from going through those experiences, like those early stages of locks. Because this is my first winter break in college when I got these, so I'm coming back, and all the rest of those months that I'm there till like May, June, I was going through that beginning stage of locks. And this is not when locks were a trend, so there wasn't like a million people doing locks. This is when I made the choice to just get some locks, right? So the teacher was discussing the origin and the beliefs around HIV and AIDS. And there was a person in the class who said that he heard that AIDS and HIV came from one of those people in that country in Africa, being intimate with a monkey. And that struck a chord. It bothered me and hurt me so deep because I know that the people in that country, which is what he called it, that country, um, look like me. So I had to say something because now embracing this connection to my roots. We know that the black people in the Caribbean islands are just as like the black people in America. Basically everybody in my family, and I took it to heart. And I remember I I was gonna not say anything, but I was like, I gotta say something. I gotta say something. And there was one other black guy in this class with me. I went into discussing how it's not okay to say that this disease came from people who look like me sleeping with animals, because that just added to that narrative. It just really bothered me. But once I started on my correction, the other guy in the class spoke up as well. And in the end, the guy was like, he kind of stood corrected. And my professor asked me and the guy to stay after class. And he told us it's important that we continue to speak up in the way that we have, just to help dispel some myths and to enlighten people that might not know or might be ignorant. We did great and he was proud of us. We shouldn't be afraid to say what we said. So I said all that to say, for me, I don't think I would have done that if I didn't have locks and if I didn't start to feel such a stronger connection to my people and my family and my roots. I wouldn't have been so offended by what he had said. I probably would have just let it go without trying to go against it so much. So that's an example of how locks have helped me with my confidence and speaking out against things that I didn't agree with, whereas I probably wouldn't have before. I can also say when I moved to North Carolina from New Jersey, I had gone to bartending school, right? But I had super limited bartending knowledge. And I was working for FedEx. And FedEx is another example because I walked into that place and it was two other women that worked in there at the time. So I was like the third woman that was working as a FedEx driver. And I would make sure that my locks were done. They were either always twisted, they were always styled. Like I kept my hair to the nines. You understand what I'm telling you? Like I made sure that my hair was always done. And that gave me the confidence to walk in there with all those men. And now don't get it twisted. I always had a little attitude like you're not gonna come in here and act like I can't do this and I can't do that. But that little bit of extra fear that that could have been there, I'm giving Locs all the glory for helping me to shake that off. So I would walk into that terminal every day. I thought I was like the shit. Like, I'm in here and my locks is dope, and I'm in here with all y'all men, and I'm doing what you're doing, and that's dope. And I feel strong and I feel empowered. Go women. Like, hey, I digress, right? So bartending, I was super nervous. I knew I needed to get me a hustle, and I knew the basics from bartending school. When it was time for me to get this next hustle, just to be able to provide even better for my daughter, because FedEx, I was doing actually very well working at FedEx. But when you're a mom and you got that hustle in your blood, you can't really not take on extra stuff. I was walking past this bar and I saw a sign that said now hiring, and I went in there and applied, and long story short, I got the job. But so comes that first day when I have to walk in front and center. People think it's like a super easy job, but when you got to control drunk people, you got to take a million orders and remember those orders. And it's my first day. And I had the dopest little trainer, and she taught me like all the rope, everything I needed to know, that got me to the point where I'm confident enough now to go out and just do my own little private bartending gigs. But my locks were my saving grace. Cause what are they coming to the bar for? They coming for these drinks, and who's making the drink? You, right? So, um, Having my locks helped me every single time. And I would keep them styled. Like, I'm going to put some pictures in. It's like all the different styles I would wear at the bar. Not all of them, but I'm going to show you some examples. And I just went crazy. I found confidence in my locks, and they helped me just to try different things and to be more confident, like with my outfits. I know that if my locks fall a certain way, it helped me with this. It made me feel like this outfit, like I helped myself make this outfit even greater. The confidence and the extra self-love and the um everything that I got from it. The bravery. My locks helped me to walk into so many rooms that I didn't think I was going to, that I could have before. And it might sound crazy, but it's real. Being able to rely on my hairstyle was a whole different experience. I wasn't relying on my locks, but I felt more, I don't want to keep saying confident, but I felt more empowered because of my locks. Like, yo, I can do this. Reaching back to college. But I will say that I spoke to countless women, and they told me things like how locks have positively affected them, like giving them more self-love, giving them more confidence, just giving them, you get more time when you have locks. Now, locks are by no means a low maintenance hairstyle, but when you come in to see me or your loctician and we got your hair right, your hair is fine. Like, you throw it in a bun, you can do whatever you want to it. And if you started locks and you went through that journey, then that little bit of fuzz, you embrace that more than like loathe it. So I've spoken to a lot of women, and they've given me that same experience. Like, it was the best decision ever. It heightened their confidence. It gave them like a greater self-love. And that's the same things that locks has done for me. So I can completely understand. And that's why it makes it harder to understand the necessity for things like the Crown Act. The fact that we need a law to tell us that it's okay to be who we want to be is mind-blowing to me. I don't need you to tell me that I can do what I want with my hair. I can do what I want with my hair. And I've always been the type of person that's like, if I can't walk into a room and my hair is the thing that stops something from happening for me in my life, then that thing is not supposed to happen for me in my life. And I don't care. I would never in my life cut these things to conform to anybody's standards, any business's standards, any job standards. It will never happen for me. And this is before the Crown Act. Like, I always felt like that. So when the Crown Act came, I was grateful. I was grateful for my children, because it would make life a lot easier for them if they chose to take routes that were formerly viewed as like you needed to conform to those routes. So I was grateful for that for my children, but I was offended because I just the very fact that you think you have to create something that says like, yo, yeah, it's okay for you to look like that. That's crazy. It's mind blowing to me, and I never understood that. I've always prided myself on being a nonconformist. I always loved the fact that I was different. But while the Crown Act helps a lot of people and it makes a statement for those in the lock community, I find its necessity to be offensive. And I want to go back to something we've seen on the news. In 2016, a little boy in Florida, I remember hearing the story, and he got sent home his first day of, it was either kindergarten or first grade. He got sent home because he had locks. This child, so now he's dealing, now the talk about like the things that come after things like that happen. So what happened to him mentally after that? How was he feeling as a person? Like, I'm not good enough because of my hair. It doesn't matter what's in your head, it matters what's on your head. That's crazy. And then we all know the story of the guy, Andrew Johnson. And Andrew Johnson was a wrestler in high school. And he was given the option of forfeiting his wrestling match or cutting his locks. So here comes this lady, I think it was his trainer, with her scissors, and just starts hacking away at his locks. And every time she cut one of those locks, it hurt my heart. And it's just crazy that people have had to go through things like that when locks do so much for so many people outside of just being a hairstyle. It's so offensive, and to me you're offending me as a black woman. You're offending my roots, because you can walk, if you go to Trinidad, you're going to see countless people with locks all over the Caribbean. So I'm offended as a Caribbean person. I'm offended as a black woman. I'm offended as just a woman. But I can tell you what other hairstyle can you go out in the rain with and not care? This is gym hair. And the only thing that happened was a piece of my little bun fell out of my messy bun. That makes it even messier and cuter. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I would never in my life, like, I'm taking these things with me wherever I go. That's another thing. Locks to me represent freedom. And I can't not be free. I can't not feel free. So I'm always going to have locks. And I'm always going to feel like I made this choice. And when my son says to me, can you style my locks this way? And he's the only kid in his class with locks. That makes me so happy and proud. Like when he says, can you cut lines on the side? And I give him the option. Every time I do my son's hair, I say, you like your locks? You want to keep them? And I know that he has a sense of community because his sister has locks, and his mom has locks, and his grandma has locks, and his cousins have locks, and his auntie has locks. I don't think you can replace that. Because when you get kids that are looking for places to belong, that's not going to be an issue I have with my children. They don't need to find a place they belong, because outside of just knowing that I'm a part of this family, they're part of this community. You should have some pride in that, and they do. And I love that for them. And like when I do my son's hair in different styles, and he walks into school and he's showing one of the teachers, and he's like, look at my hair, look at my hair. And my son is like proud and excited, and that just brings such a sense of joy to me as a mother, and to me as a loctician, and to a fellow locker. So that sense of community and that sense of freedom, I don't think you can get that from anywhere else. Those are all the ways that locks have helped me, and they've helped the people around me, and they've helped me with and my children. For me, locks have been about embracing the love for myself, embracing like who I am as a person, embracing my roots, and forging a sense of community, not only with my family, because now almost my whole family is locked, but with just other people that are locked. Go out, like you hear people with locks complimenting each other. Locks for me have been about embracing who I am and connecting to my roots, and it's given me an extra bit of self-confidence and self-love that I don't think I would have gotten without having them. And it's taught me patience, because like I said, when I started locks back in 1998, it wasn't for the trend. It was because I liked that style. But going through those stages of developing these locks and getting them to here has completely changed me as a person. Locks have not only transformed me like internally and like mentally, they have created a life for me. Like I'm a loctician, and I own a line of lock hair care products that are superb, and that come with like 26 years of like learning experience, and um do very well, and like is in store shops. It's not just something I'm selling on my website and something I don't really believe in and stand behind. Like I really believe and stand behind my products, and I have like testimonials from customers and everything. So locks have done so much for me and my family, and just in general, and I love that. I love that for me. And if you get locks, I'm gonna love that for you. So that's it. It's Locked Up with Nikki, y'all.
Hey, Mom. Locked Up with Nikki!